Hey guys, welcome to Reality Check. We've got Cassie, Jason, and Dee here with you for episode 4 and 5 recap and some epic live feed spoilers.
Yes.
So there's lots to talk about, so we're going to just dive right in. Jason, do you want to start off?
Definitely, because I am super excited about talking about these last 2 episodes. BB Can does not disappoint. It has been a fun season so far. It is definitely living up to last season. We got a great group of people, and this has just been so much fun so far. So last episode was nominations, of course. And this episode we started with not started with the veto comp, but started with right after the nomination ceremony when all the poop hit the fan and everything just exploded in the house. So we kind of got to like relive that moment over again because I kind of forgot about it from last episode, and then we start with it on this one. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be crazy. So there's Paul digging himself a hole and everybody just blowing up. And one thing I remember thinking was like how well Andrew played it, because he did not lose his cool. He like even walked by into the kitchen and then came back and then went upstairs. Like they really shortened it up at the end of Sunday's episode to really add the drama. And then when they replayed all of it, it kind of ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was. So it was cool to see how everything happened. But yeah, to watch Andrew like walk over to the kitchen and then walk back upstairs, and he's just kind of smiling like, yeah, whatever, man. And everybody just jumping on Paul. I'm like, oh, this is so nuts. This is so nuts.
You knew where everybody stood, didn't you?
Oh, he just played, like Andrew played that so well. And then he goes upstairs, and then Paul kind of deflates and thinks, oh shit, maybe I should go apologize. And goes up there, and then he walks in, and Andrew's just like, no, I did not ask you to come in here. I am not talking to you. I want you to leave. You should leave. I'm asking you to leave. Please leave. I'm not talking to you. Yeah. And then Arlie comes up and like, here's your headphones. You want to blare your music? And he just puts them on and just, I'm not talking to you. Get out. It's so awesome. Like, this is the best. He's just getting stonewalled, like completely stonewalled. I could not believe it. And he just didn't lose his cool. He was just very calm. Like, he didn't get excessive, you know?
I think
so great
Andrew, I don't know. He did well as far as that whole fight goes, like walking away.
Oh,
but
flawless.
I don't know, I was thinking while Paul was in there trying to talk to him, I was thinking, you know what, this could be, I don't know, maybe I'm just over-strategizing, but I was just like, you know, this might have been cool, a good opportunity for them to form an alliance, because they had a really good fight, and, you know, Paul's kind of on the outs and he's got no one, but he does have a lot of strategy. If he just had someone to kind of tone down his ideas, I think he could be good at the game, and that would be an alliance that no one would guess. So I'm thinking Andrew should probably be thinking about that for the future, just in case. So. You never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's an option, but I mean, Paul has already shown that he's kind of a loose cannon.
Hey, he's a total wacko.
At any second, I'm going to do something crazy. So you want me on your side. It's just like, no. I got 4 super chill people in my alliance that you don't know anything about, that nobody knows anything about.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing you on board my train. You can just stay in your hole with Adele and Kyle, and good luck to you. So I don't blame him for not reaching out. But
the thing that I've noticed
Paul was not such a loose cannon, it would be all right. But
I know. Well, the thing I noticed about Arlie too is that he's like the smooth over person. Like anytime I've tuned into the feeds or even on the episodes, he's always the one that's like, oh, I'm gonna fix the situation and calm it down. Like he's like the mother bear of the group, I found, which is kind of funny.
I heard Sabrina on After Dark last night say like, because it was Allison's first night in the house. Spoilers.
Oh man.
But I remember Sabrina saying like, he is seriously like the nicest guy I've ever met. He's so nice, and then back to the conversation. So it's just little comments like that I hear from different people that just like, oh, Arlie, he's so sweet, he's so nice, he's so helpful, he's so nice to talk to. I like being around him, like all that kind of stuff, right? You know, it's if everybody's saying that kind of stuff about you, it means you're doing something right in the house, right?
Oh, absolutely. His social game is amazing.
And it's not even that kind of like, I think it seems seems, because I don't know how much of it is an act for him or if he's just naturally like that as a person, but it's not so over the top and so like indulgent that people are saying, I think he's trying to play a social game. I think he's really playing too hard. I think he's trying to be everybody's friend. And it doesn't seem like that to everybody. Everyone's just accepting him, like, accepting that he is just like that, and loving him for it. So it doesn't seem forced, and I think that's, even more to gameplay. Like, if you can have people say all that and not, catch on, then.
Right. He's totally flying under the radar, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody said he was floating. I forget who said that in the episode.
What?
Floating. Well, floating.
It was.
How can someone float in week 2? Like, come on.
It was in the war room.
He's playing the game.
Yeah, no, it was in the war room when the three of them were answering questions from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Who would you put up and why?" And I think one of them said, "I'd put up Arlie." I think Scott said, "I'd put up Arlie because he's just floating through the game or something like that." But they're in the war rooms; they don't know anything about anything, right? So.
No,
right.
I don't know, and like people accusing people of being floaters within week 2, is so annoying for me on Big Brother.
You're not playing hard enough yet.
Drives me crazy.
That's exactly what you want to do in week 2 is play hard.
It's a 12-week game. You shouldn't be doing anything. And I've heard that from all the best all the best players in Big Brother have all said you shouldn't be doing anything for the first 4 or 5 weeks. You just need
to take a back seat, get along with everyone, build really good relationships, and don't win until you have to.
Pick up after yourself. Don't make anyone mad, and just stick around.
Do your own thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's not happening this season, is it?
No, I know. It's unfortunate because that conversation that Kenny and Andrew that had in the backyard, where they were saying, it's so weird because we thought Paul was coming in, he's going to be this really nice guy, and he's just completely different than what we thought. And that's how all of us viewers are thinking too. I remember in our fantasy draft video, I'm like, I can't wait for Paul. He's so sweet. He's like a giant teddy bear. And now I'm like, he's certifiable. You know what I mean?
Very much, yes.
So,
he's a loose cannon.
Mm-hmm. But see, and it's really hard to figure out if it's all an act or if he's doing it by accident or what's going on. Because he had that conversation in the mirror and he's like, "This is what I wanted. Good. Everyone's fighting." So I'm like, is he just saying that to make himself look better to the viewers, or is it legitimate? Or it's hard to figure out what's actually genuine with him and what is contrived, or you know what I mean?
I was thinking that too when I was watching it, because you're thinking, well, he's talking to himself, but is he talking to us? Because if I was playing the game, I would be talking to myself all the time because I know you guys are listening. I would want everybody at home or watching the live feeds or watching the episodes to know exactly what's going on in my head all the time, because that's way more fun for the viewers when they can get some insight into how the gears are turning in your head, right? What you're thinking. So I don't know if he's doing that for us or not, but it was cool to hear because that kind of started to make more sense. I'm like, oh, this is why he's being a crazy nut job, because this is what he's planning, I guess.
But I'm just trying to figure out what he's doing. If he's trying to do, when he had that talk with himself in the mirror, I was like, is he trying to be like Evil Dick? Trying to do that scenario where he was so hated, but he got taken all the way to the end? But I'm like, if that's what he's trying to do, it's not going to work because he doesn't. If Dick hadn't had Danny there, he wouldn't have won. But lots of people felt bad for Danny, so they kept Danny around and they kept Dick around because they felt bad for her.
It's not just Evil Dick, though. Anytime anyone talks about a bad guy, it's Evil Dick. I'm like, okay, there's been more than that. But
well, for sure, but
it is true. I would find a better comparison in Survivor. I don't know. There haven't been a ton of seasons that you've seen, but one that usually there's somebody that everybody hates that you drag along to the end because everybody hates them, Russell Hantz or Philip Shepard.
It doesn't work that well in Big Brother, though.
I just find it hard to believe that
Brother.
Paul is that big of a mastermind, y'all.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. If he's just trying to cover it up and be like, oh yeah, I'm way smarter than I am, wink, wink, but he's an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. It's really hard to figure him out.
Big Brother is 3 times longer than Survivor, so it's way harder to pull it off. But I was watching that episode with Steph, and she turns to me and she's like, "Is that actually gonna work?" I'm like, theoretically, Yes. I mean, in his position, this might be the best call for him. But on week 2, to become the bad guy and expect to be taken to the end 10 weeks later, yeah, good luck holding up that story for that long. Like, there's no way you're going to make it that far. You're either going to have to be good guy, bad guy, you know, and end with bad guy or whatever. But, I mean, even on After Dark last night, I could see him, like, talking to the girls in the storage room, like, yeah, I just got to see where I fit now. Like, he made it through eviction, so now he's going to be good guy again until he has to be bad guy again, I think, you know. So I think he's going to be flip-flopping back and forth now that I've seen that he just sways from side to side, you know. Who am I going to be today, right? So, but, I don't know, maybe the bad guy thing really kind of, he fell on his face with that, so maybe he's going to just revert back to what he came in the house
Well, if you're going to be the bad guy, too, like I said in the other ones, you pick 1 to 2 strategies and you stick with them. But he was just all over the place, and he was giving all his strategy away. And
those are his 2 strategies. Good guy and bad guy.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Okay, fine. But yeah, he's just being like, you can't be like that in the very beginning of the game because it's almost like he's bipolar. Because one day he's
nobody wants to be around that for
and
12
cleaning,
days.
and then the next day he's like, oh, everyone's racist, and it's like, okay, like, who are you today? Relax, man.
Yeah.
He's a lunatic.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants to be around a bad guy for that long. So
No.
I mean, if you want to be a bad guy like week 9, 10, then maybe you can get away with, like, I don't know, or it's just a bad strategy, to be honest. I mean,
no, I agree.
It can work as a last ditch effort. I think if that's like your plan F and that's all you got left, then go for it. But don't make it plan A. You know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think your microphone unplugged because your audio is weird.
Oh, really?
Oh no, you're good now. Never mind.
Okay.
So Kenny, he is like amazing. He's doing really well.
I love Kenny.
I love him.
So
I love
smart.
him more and more and more every episode.
Me too. I love
He,
him.
honestly, I have really good feeling about him. I think he's going to make it to at least Final 5. I don't know about winning, but I think he's going to get really far.
Unless somebody... Okay, this is the tough thing about really good players is everybody else recognizes that. You know, the Sabrinas, the Arleys, the Allisons, the super fans, they're going to see him and say, this guy knows what he's doing, this guy's playing really well, he could win, so let's take him out. And that's what's so tragic about the way these reality games are now, whether it's Survivor or Big Brother, is the people that are best at the game get taken out because they're so good, you know?
Well, he's made a lot of alliances, and I strongly feel he will at least make it to Final 5, and then they might cut him at that point. But he's made some really strong alliances, even though, like, Andrew's really on the microscope right now because John has had it, and Netta.
Right.
Yeah, they're not happy with him, hey?
No.
Could see that in the episode, but...
Go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say, we saw it in the episode, but that's 30 seconds out of the last 2 weeks, so who knows, you know, when that was even shot or what kind of context it was in. Like, that could just be editing. I don't know if people are really that unhappy with him, right? Or if
have you noticed that he's gotten, like, HOH-itis on the live feeds at all, or?
Andrew, a little, but everybody does. I
mean,
not
it's
really
inevitable.
too bad. But what I was going to say is, had it not been for Kenny, Paul would have went. I mean, Andrew was just totally thinking, you know, I don't like Paul, I'm going to take him out. Where Kenny was strategizing, thinking Kyle's the bigger threat. So Kyle went. That was total Kenny. He convinced Andrew of that.
That's the other thing I was going to say, too, about Andrew, that I was, like, I just about fell off the couch. I was so impressed. So they had that conversation outside when Kenny was like, you know what, Kyle's a bigger threat. We should go for Kyle. And then it went to Andrew's diary room, and he says, so Kenny brings up a good point that Kyle's a bigger threat, and that we should probably take him out. And then right after that, I was thinking, oh, here we go. But then he did the exact opposite. Andrew says, so I think I'm going to change, and we're going to go after Kyle. When everybody else that I can think of that's in Andrew's sort of position, and a kind of guy like Andrew, like, not like kind of a meathead, but just like, you know, really playing hard. He'll say something like, Kenny brings up a good point, but I don't care because I want Paul out of here, so that's who's going home, you know? And you're like, hey, really, dude, like, learn how to play the game, right? But he didn't. He said, I think I'm going to change my strategy. I'm like, yes, thank you. Thank you for listening to somebody else and actually doing what somebody else suggests and making the better call, like, I totally saw it coming. It was like just setting it up. I saw it in my head. Just, nope, Paul's going home, and he didn't do it. And I was really, really impressed.
Mm-hmm.
He's listening, so he doesn't have HOH-itis, so terribly bad. He's a little cocky, but I think he's a little cocky anyway.
Yeah, that's just his personality.
Yeah.
You know what? Even when I see him, and I like watching After Dark because it's not exactly like the live feeds, but pretty close. But you get to see people in context, in the flesh, in a real conversation, in the flow. You get to see their mannerisms. You get to hear the tone. You get a real sense of who they are. And I get nothing but good vibes from Andrew. They can edit him any way they want. I think he's cool, and I think that he's on the level. He's not a jerk. I like him. So it's going to take a lot to change my opinion of him now. But I don't think he got HOH-itis. There's a lot of situations where he could have been a lot worse. He could have totally gone the Tom route, and he didn't.
Oh God!
Do you remember when he came out on the landing and just in his underwear and I'm the king of this house? Like, he never did anything like that, And even Paul just come talk to me, Who do you want to go home, right? I didn't hear any of that crap from Andrew, right? So. Maybe he had a bunch of girls in his bed, but he probably didn't go down to the couch and I want you, let's go. They probably crawled right in there on their own accord, right? So,
pretty much.
That was a funny
Andrew
shot.
Really does is take his shirt off, Jason.
Oh man. And then Netta, when she was nominated. She is like having a meltdown when she found out she was nominated.
I was surprised a little bit.
I was really surprised too, and it was like, it's so obvious. If you're going up next to Paul, I'm sorry, but you have to be a moron to think that you're the target.
It's like Andrew read the speech to Netta, and then she stopped listening and didn't hear anything that happened after that. Because if you were listening when Andrew gave that speech to Paul, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize, maybe I'm not the target here.
Yeah. Well, how stupid can you be? And so
I don't know.
And she just starts crying, like, okay.
I don't know if that was just strategy, maybe, or it was just pure stupidity, or just emotional. I don't know.
Yeah, a slop meltdown, emotional.
Yeah.
That could be, because people say it does crazy stuff to you, right? So.
They do say that, yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for Sarah, because they kind of showed that on the feeds, on the episode, how she's doing, and I just want to give her a burger so bad.
She's good today.
She got movie food, so.
There's no half-nots right now either, right?
There is, yes.
They have done it. Oh, we'll get to that at the end there.
Okay.
What else from that episode? Yeah, Netta freaking out. That was really stupid. And then, what was the other thing I can't remember. Do you have
Next thing
anything?
I wrote down in my notes is when they showed that whole argument scene in the war room to the people. Like, I don't know what it must be like in there, just the three of them with nothing to do. Like, at least when you have a house full of people, you have a bunch of people to talk to. But they don't have anything. They have, like, bobbleheads to play with and then thumbs to twiddle. So, they must have been bored out of their mind. So when the screen lit up, they were probably just like, whoa! Like, they looked so genuinely excited. Like, it was Christmas morning, like one of them said. It's like Christmas morning, I think Scott said. But they just, like, ran to the TV. And I guess they'd been waiting for it because they knew it was coming. But then to watch that, like, did you see their faces? Like,
yes.
First of all, Nate just looked stunned, and I just wonder. I think he was like trying to soak everything in. Like, okay, I need to pay attention because this could be really important, right? But then Scott was just like, oh my god.
I know, he kept talking through it. I was like,
Allison
shut
was
up.
almost like covering her eyes, just like, oh my god, she's screaming. Like, they just lost their shit. It was so funny to see.
Yeah.
But it was a good scene. Like, as soon as they said that, I think the episode before, like, they get a secret scene or something. I'm like, oh, I wonder which scene they're going to play for them in that room.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be the fight, so I was glad it was.
I loved Allison after how she says, I miss the show. I love watching the show. And it's cool to be on it, but I want to watch it.
Yeah.
But
I
that was
love
so
that.
cute. And what a super fan thing to say, too. Like,
I
you're
know.
in the secret room in the Big Brother house, and you're complaining about not getting to watch the show.
Right. Well, she's a feeder too. She's a live feeder too. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure
she's
she.
hardcore.
Must be so hard, right? But I just thought that was so cute. I'm like, you're the
Yeah.
best, Alice.
I know. I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then that we went to the veto competition.
We did the movie first.
Well, I know, but I want to talk about the ceremony. At the veto ceremony.
Oh, okay, sure. When they pick
I
players?
I always find it really funny whenever Big Brother, U.S. or wherever, they get a movie. And I love how fake excited they are. Like, they have no idea what the movie's about, and they're like, oh my god, Divergent! Like, they're acting like they know
I
what
don't
movie
know.
it is. And I was like, come
They
on.
might have, because this is like the new Hunger Games, right? Like, these are books.
No, I know, but the ads for that only started like a month ago.
Yeah, but
And they
the
were in
books
sequester then.
the books have probably been out for years.
Oh, it's a book.
Yeah,
There
this
are
is like
books. Yes,
this is like a
mentioned.
book trilogy. So I'm wondering if a lot of the people in the house have actually read the trilogy and are like actual fans. Like,
Yeah.
Could
you
be.
know what I mean?
It reminded me of, I can't remember what season it was, but they had to watch that Matthew McConaughey, I can't even say it, McConaughey movie, girl, oh my god.
Girl interrupt. No.
Something, no, it's like from Boyfriend's Past or Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, yeah, and it's like terrible movie. But so then they read out the card and they're like, oh my god, I love this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't even know what the hell this is. Like,
You know what? Usually the movie thing is like week 7, 8, 9 or something.
yeah, way later.
So,
Yeah, it was
so
early.
these people are like so
Really
cooped
early.
up. They haven't watched the TV with the exception of like Julie Chen once a week for an hour, you know,
Julie
clips here and
Chen?
there. So, like in the
Oh,
U.S.
Big
or whatever,
Brother
right?
US.
In the
Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so or whoever, right? So
Mhm.
they're all cooped up. You know, I would be excited to do anything at that point.
Oh,
that
for
isn't
sure.
Me
being in the
too.
house, right? But week 2, I mean, you've just barely, you know, started missing your home, your own bed or something, right? So,
Mhm. I just find it
but
really cheesy when they do that.
yeah, I mean, if I was in the house and they said, "You're gonna watch the 3rd edition of the Hunger Games movie," I'd be like, "What? I get to see
Well,
it
yeah.
first?" Like, I would lose my mind. It'd be amazing, right?
Friggin'
So
amazing.
some of these people could be like genuine fans of the books. I don't know. The movie looks not that great. Maybe it's just the acting doesn't look that great, but I can't judge because I haven't read the books. I don't really know anything about it. So,
I don't know anything about it.
but I hear you, and I made a note about not their reaction to actually getting to see the movie, but
Mhm.
after they saw it, how they're just like, especially Arlie and somebody else was like, I can't believe I got to see this movie. Of all the movies, Divergent. I am so excited about it. It was so good. I'm like, okay, are they reading off cue cards or what's going on here? Like, I don't like the lines felt so fed. None of it seemed really genuine. I'm sure they were excited to see a movie, but I mean, just the things they were saying, the way it was, you know, laid out. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I always find those segments really corny, but the veto was so cool.
I love that.
I
video.
feel like Canada has stepped up the game as far as the challenges and stuff go, which is
Well,
good.
I wonder if the sponsorship paid for all of that, right?
I bet they did.
Oh,
which
for
I want-
Divergent? Oh, for
which-
sure. Yeah.
Which I wanted to mention too. Like, how do you guys feel about the sponsorship stuff?
Hmm.
Does it bother you at
I've
all?
noticed it less this season than I did last season because that Chevy Power Shift was like constantly being thrown in my face, and then the brick stuff was constantly thrown in my face, and then
Yeah.
that Lowe's hardware or whatever was constantly, and it drove me crazy. I haven't really noticed it, to be honest with you.
Well, actually, last year it really jumped out for me because I worked for Pepsi and Frito-Lay. So anytime I went to the storage room and there's a whole rack of Lay's chips and then like stacks of pop, like Pepsi and all the Pepsi brands, I'm like, okay. So it just jumped out at me. But, you know, a lot of people, like, usually I have a problem with sponsors really trying to subtly get their brand name in there. You know, like maybe there's like a Coke truck parked in the background on a show and you're like, okay, well, that's not an accident.
Oh,
right.
Ooh, I got a good example of that. This is
Yeah.
totally unrelated, but it was like an American Idol last season, I think it was. And they were going in to do their thing, and they all parked in these, I think it was like Toyotas or something. and they're getting out of them, and I was like, what the hell? Like, what? Why are you getting out of these? I know they just took them from the back of the building into the car and got them to go up to the carpet. And I was like, wow, shameless,
American Idol's bad for it. Usually the producer, that guy with that really Weasley looking guy. Anyway, he's sitting there like telling them what kind of song they're gonna do, and he's got the Beats headphones around his neck that he probably never actually uses, but he's just like, so if you got them turned so you can see the little Beats logo, or their cups always have to have the logo faced out. Like, that kind of stuff really bugs me.
I haven't noticed it this year. Have you noticed it a lot, Dee?
No, not at all.
Well, in this Big Brother, it's like they're not. It's almost like they said, okay, we have sponsors. We're not going to try to hide it. You're going to know about it. We're not going to try to trick you into, subconsciously buying their brands. We're just going to let the sponsors do their thing. It bugged me when they covered a third of the screen in the Divergent thing. That bugged me. But,
which screen?
It was like during the challenge, there was like, I think it was like the Divergence hashtag, but it took up like a third of the screen. Like, it was like your banner, Kassie, but it was like twice as thick. And I'm like, is that really necessary?
No, I agree.
But as for a Divergent challenge, for a Divergent movie, like, I loved it. I thought the look was really cool. It was really fun. The challenge was neat, like the zip line. It's just really cool. So, but I don't know. The sponsoring doesn't bother me when it's very obvious, like when they're not trying to hide it,
Well, I really like the fact that they had like heights at this time, and they had harnesses, and they had like stuff similar to Big Brother US. Because last year was just a joke. Like, it was terrible. But
what do you guys think about Paul facing his fear?
Well, I was talking to my sister about this earlier, and she said, I think he was just lying. I think he was just doing that to get attention. And I was like, no, I think he was genuinely afraid. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? He might have been acting that up a lot more just to gain some sympathy because he's so alienated within the house. So maybe he was using that as a strategy.
Well, the only reason I think he probably wasn't was because he mentioned before the comp ever happened, oh, I hope this isn't heights. I'm so afraid of heights.
Yeah, I remember him saying that,
So, I don't know.
I mean, I get vertigo and I get a little weird around some sorts of heights, but when it's like 10 feet off the ground and there's like a 2-foot cushion underneath me,
I know.
I would not be scared. I would be the first one. I'd be diving headfirst into it just to get down there faster. Like, so I don't know.
It wasn't that far.
I've never had to deal with a fear like that, so I don't know how crippling it can be.
I'm terrified of heights. Terrified of heights. But the thing is that that those Big Brother, the people who make those games, they're making sure it's really safe, right? So you know that you're not in trouble. And like it kept panning down to this giant mattress on the ground, and I was like, buddy, it's basically a giant bed. Just jump. Like, what's your deal? And like even going down the zip line, it wasn't even that high, and you're slamming into another mattress. I'm like, just go. What's the problem?
It was pretty.
Yeah, the water part that would have made me mad.
It was pretty safe unless you're Netta climbing the stairwell and decide to let go at the top before you're actually all the way up. Did you see that clip where she almost fell back? And you're like, whoa, that's really high up. Like, don't do that. I loved
when Kyle got stuck in the rope and he's like upside down hanging and his feet were stuck in it. I was like, oh,
Kenny?
that's awesome.
Kenny.
Or Kenny, sorry, I meant to say Kenny. Oh, I get those two mixed up.
I know, all those K names. I thought it was awesome that they all, I thought it was awesome that Kyle and Adele, they went over to him, and everyone was cheering for him. So if he really was afraid, he got lots of encouragement. They were all just really cheering for him. So
I was thinking later it would have been good. It would have been neat if Arlie said hey, everyone stop, let's cheer Paul on, and they all started a Paul chant. That would have been really cool, right? But
I got to talk about Arlie hosting this competition because I laughed so hard. So he did this really stupid voice, and the entire time he does it, he's furling his brow, and he's like, "Are you guys ready?" And I was just like, "Whoa, buddy, relax your face." He just looks so
he was really into the movie. He wanted to play the part.
He was.
Yeah. He was really intense. He was reminding me of someone from Harry Potter, and I can't even remember the name. I don't know.
Snape, maybe?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he always had his brow frowned, so I was just laughing my ass off at him. It was hilarious.
It was funny when Andrew picked him to host, and he leapt off the couch. And
Oh, and he's like, "Ah, da, 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 da."
I know, he is so funny.
He is hilarious. He's super
He is.
funny.
I really
I
like
think it was funny. Like, I don't know how much training he got for hooking people up to harnesses, but I thought so. He's the safety coordinator up on that thing. Like,
Well, I was wondering as they were going down, I'm like, oh, is there someone in production up there wearing like all black so you can't see them? And then they showed right after they showed Arlie doing it. I was like, I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
I
like
trust him.
I like the helmet cam. You could like hear Paul like wheezing and like whimpering while he was up there because it was so close to Arlie's microphone. I thought that was really funny too. But
Yeah, you'd have to have a lot of trust in Arlie, that's for sure.
yeah,
Don't want to be his enemy standing up there. Okay, hook me in, Burrow.
yeah.
Now you die.
I felt so bad for was it Sarah? I think where she
Oh
came
my
back
god,
with her
she
second.
busted her ass, man.
But when she came back with her second piece or her third piece, and it was a duplicate, I'm like, oh no, you worked that hard.
It's her second
Just-
piece, yeah.
Yeah, it was her second.
How heartbreaking is that, right? But I'm thinking, how do you not look at the piece you just grabbed? Like, come on.
You know, the thing I like about Sarah, she
That's a
shows
lot
a lot of heart in the competitions, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Obviously not the first one because she was trusting Paul, but she shows a lot of heart, and I really admire her for that. The first one was the ice, and Paul was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get down," and so she did. But yeah, she shows a lot of heart, and I can really respect that. I like she tries until the very end, and I like that.
She's not bad at them either. I think if it wasn't for the ropes, Netta and Sarah probably would have done a lot better. But it probably took a certain amount of upper body strength and maybe a bit more athleticism or coordination in that kind of way, right? So, because rope ladders are not easy.
Well, even Kenny said that he's had training on those or whatever, and you have to lean back on it in order to do it. And obviously, those girls they didn't know that, so they were using it like an actual ladder, and it just doesn't work that way.
No. So it takes a bit of getting used to, but then by the time you get used to it, your arms are already dead, and you're like, okay, now I got to do this 5 more times. 6 if you get a duplicate piece.
Well, yeah, and then you go right into the ice cold water. Then you go down a zip line, you start warming up. Then you go climb that again and go back in the freezing water. Like, oh my god, that'd be exhausting.
And you pretty well knew Kyle or Andrew was going to win that. I mean, those girls don't have that upper body strength.
No.
Yeah, so
not for the speed, no.
Part of me is feeling a little bit bad for them about these challenges, right? Like, they're so physical, but...
Yeah, but it's about time, man. I was so sick of quizzes. I want lots of stuff.
I hear you. Like, like I said last week, too, it could have been 6 guys, it could have been 6 girls in this competition. Like, who knows? They can't plan for that. They just make the challenges and see what happens, right? So, yeah.
So what movie was that for again? Just kidding.
Yeah.
It was all over the place.
It was everywhere, wasn't
I
it?
know.
Oh.
It was so bad.
Something I thought that you would love me to bring up, Cassie, going back to the movie, and this even goes back to Kenny's bio. Do you remember at the end of the bio, he says that he actually cries a lot? If he watches a sad movie or reads a sad story, he cries. And then he started, like, you can see the tears rolling down his cheek during the movie. I'm like, oh, Kenny, you're so adorable.
I love him. I just love him.
He's a softie.
That's so funny. Out of all the, like, I remember that the most clear out of his bio, and then to see it happen on the show was pretty awesome.
But yeah, because we talked about that in our draft videos too. Yeah, Kenny hasn't disappointed me at all. He's exceeded my expectations really and more. Yeah, he's awesome.
I like him a lot.
So yeah, then they pull Ned off the block and they throw up Kyle, which really bummed me out.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Kyle before. I've always had a good feeling about him, and I didn't know why. He seemed, and I was telling a friend at work this. There's douchebags, and then there's self-aware douchebags, and I feel like if you're self-aware, then you're not actually douchey. You just like being that way because it's kind of funny and it's kind of fun. Because real, true douchebags don't realize how douchey they are. They think they're cool, and that's what makes them so douchey. So when you're self-aware and you just be like that anyway, and I always got that feeling from him. I'm like, I don't think he's actually a jerk, right? I think he's probably a pretty nice dude. And, we could see that with him praying and the support he gave Paul in the challenge. And then just this last episode, that nice conversation he had with Sarah, and then going even further than that nice speech he gave when he left, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it. They were probably pulling their hair out because they had to go to break, but I'm glad they didn't cut him off and just let him finish, because what he had to say was really, really nice. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm really sad.
I liked him too. I liked that kid.
I honestly didn't think I would like him, but I did. He was really genuine and he was sweet. It's just crappy he aligned with such a loose cannon, because I think he could have had a really good run in the game, but it really honestly comes down to who you align with in the beginning. And the one thing with him that was really good is that he was very loyal.
He was.
So for me, if I'm playing the game and I see how loyal he is, I'm going to want to work with him because he's extremely loyal. And it just shocked me that no one tried to work with him at that point. How divided everything.
Yeah,
I know, but it was just, it's stupid. Why? I don't know.
So early.
I mean, if you look at it...
No, go ahead,
Jason. Paul is not loyal in any way, shape, or form. But Kenny and Adele both are very, very loyal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand why these, it's all about numbers at the beginning. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, too, is that, when the house goes into the two different groups, if you're in the big group, you have a way lower chance of winning than if you're in the smaller group, right? You have a way higher chance, you've got way more loyalty, and, it's just better. It's not good to be part of the big group. In the beginning it is, yes, because it's saving your butt, but...
Oh, yeah.
In the long run, it doesn't do anything for you, because in that big group, there's going to be at least one or two people that are going to alienate everyone, and then you're going to be guilty by association. Mm-hmm. And the power always flips in the house, and it's just you got to be really careful what side you're caught on. But I don't know. I think a lot of the girls are making really stupid mistakes, obviously, with who they're aligning with. They're basically power hopping, which is irritating.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean... I didn't really see anyone flocking to Paul. Maybe they did because he's the first HOH, and they don't.
Yeah, but no, because Sarah was in there a lot with Paul. Sabrina was in there a lot with Paul. Pretty much all the girls spent quite a bit of time with Paul when he was up in that HOH room.
Sabrina takes over the HOH room.
I know.
Face it. It's,
So is she going to be Ika's girlfriend this week, or?
She already tried to be.
Yeah, that's already happening.
That's already happening.
But yeah, back to what you're asking.
It's not working, but it's happening.
But yeah, back to what you were saying, Cassie. I don't think anyone wanted to work with Kyle because, I mean, if you're in Andrew or Kenny's position or Arlie, you have a 5-person alliance that nobody knows about. So why the hell would you want to pair up with Kyle, right? Just get him out of here because he's obviously a threat to you and your alliance.
But this is the thing. If I'm a girl in the game, and I know it's always different once you're in the house, but if I'm a girl in the game, I see Kyle, and he is a physical threat. He is probably the best physical threat to take out any of the other physical threats in the house. He's the best chance, right? So I'm going to be looking at it like, okay, there's a rift between these guys, and this guy I can work with, and I can get him to target these people. I just have to get this many people to believe me and work with us, because he's the only one that's going to be able to take down those big guys. Paul's not going to do it.
That's what I didn't understand why John and Arlie and some of those guys didn't try to work with Kyle.
I know, and especially with how much John is getting sick of Andrew, and even him and Netta, like they could have. I was feeling like, they're going to do it, but they didn't, unfortunately. But I was really feeling like it might have not worked out in the way that Andrew and Kenny had wanted.
Mm-hmm. It's because it's 10-3. I mean, if you're in the group of 10,
I know.
You don't say, hey, you know what? Screw these guys. I'm going to go work with those 3. Nobody's going to do that.
But it's not even screw these guys. It's just talking to them in quiet moments and saying, hey, listen, like, what are my options here with you? Instead of just
you guys know what the house is like. Everything's like wildfire. Like, if anybody sees anything, if you're like whispering, that's why everyone's ostracizing them. Because if you're even seen talking to them, then you're talking game and you're part of them now. And
that's why I started respecting Sarah even more, because she went over and sat with him and talked with him and tried to get to know him, and it made me respect her a lot more.
And I think someone like Sarah can get away with that, because nobody's going to see Sarah talking to Kyle and think, oh, she's talking game. They're probably going to be like, oh, you know what? She's
The
being a
mother
loving,
figure.
loving motherly person and comforting him or whatever, right? So, yeah. No, I hear you, but
I'm just
it's
bummed
tough.
out.
Like, you know,
I really thought
I probably
John would
wouldn't talk to
try.
him.
I thought John would too. I agree. I
mean,
really
up
thought
until
John
the
would try.
last minute, I really did.
I'm betting that John's probably thinking, you know what, the opportunity will present itself to get Andrew out, and that's not this week while he's still in power. You know, like there's going to be a week when, say, Ika maybe puts up an Andrew and a Kenny or whatever Allison does, you know.
Not gonna happen.
That's when John flips her. But you know what I mean? Like there's going to be a week when somebody like a Gary Levy comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to put up the 2 power players because nobody else is. And that's when everyone starts reevaluating where they are in the game and who they really want to be with, because now they have an opportunity to just sever a main artery in a huge alliance. You know.
And I look for that to happen. I look for those 2 to be put up together. You're right, Jason. I look for that to happen soon.
You know, you stay with them until that opportunity pops up, and then you stab them right in the back, like cloak and dagger, right? So.
The thing that I was thinking about during Wednesday's episode was the strategy that's going on in this game is by far superior to Big Brother Canada, the first season. And I know people will say, no, you know, Peter and Alec, they had lots of strategy and stuff going. Yes,
they were the
did.
only ones, yeah.
I know. So I feel like this season is way more jam-packed, and the strategy is just incredible, and how hard people are playing. And comparing it to last year, honestly, I was thinking about it. It's like comparing nap time to like a kids all for fun or something, where kids are going mental and running around all over the place, right? Like it's completely different.
I think this cast, there's a lot more intelligence and a lot more logic to these people,
and a lot of fans,
a lot of gamers.
You know, like last year, who was strategizing? AJ? No. Andrew? No. Tala?
No.
Gary? A little bit, but not really. Suzette?
No. Danielle? No.
Yeah, like Anil, maybe, sort of, not
a little
really.
bit.
Like, but you know, it just wasn't there. Like these people are there to party and have a good time. Like these people this year are here to game. Even if it looks like they're having a good time, the only one that probably is anything like last year is Heather. Everybody else is gaming. Every single person has an agenda. You know.
Well, even for Big Brother 15, like that season had a lot of. It was pretty boring, to be honest with you. Yeah, there was a lot of controversy, but as far as gaming, it was pretty sad. So I feel like Big Brother Canada 2 has just been incredible because there's just so much strategy and stuff going on right out of the gate, and I'm just really glad. Casting did an incredible job.
Yeah, BB15, there was no time for strategy because there was always a fight happening.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, there's too much emotion too, right? You know, Helen.
I agree, and now with Allison in the mix, like Allison was definitely the best pick.
Oh my God, we're going to talk about her at the end because I got lots to say, and I'm sure he has a ton to say about that.
It's going to be great.
So yeah, we got to see the second part of the veto competition on yesterday's episode, and Kenny ended up winning, which is woohoo. I really liked that segment that they had with Paul, Adele, and Kyle.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, that was so funny.
That was so funny.
It was so funny. Oh.
I was really glad that they put that.
Must have been a lot longer on the feeds, yeah.
Yeah, because it got to show a different side to them, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. I didn't think Paul could be that funny, and Kyle was really funny, and I was really impressed because, like I said, I thought he was an idiot, but he's really funny.
Yeah, Adele's laugh is so infectious too. Like,
I know.
It is. I love that kid.
Yeah. I love that diary room.
I had myself convinced that they would put Kyle in that war room because I wanted him to stay so bad. I wanted those 3 in that war room with that 5th feed. Kyle, Adele, and Paul. Because they're so hilarious.
What do you mean put them in the war room? I'm confused.
Put them in the war room because Allison came out, right?
Yeah.
So now what are they going to do with the war room? So that somebody could re-enter the house later on like Gary did.
You think they would have another person come in?
I was just convincing myself of that because I wanted them in there so badly.
I'm wondering what I was thinking this too because it's this big secret. So are they gonna have it
Yeah.
next season, or is this just like a wasted thing? Like they built this whole room for one season. You know, I don't know, right?
I don't
So,
think so. I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think we're done with the war room. I
I
could
haven't
be
even
wrong,
thought
but I
about
don't
that at
think so.
all.
a lot of people in the house were convinced last night that there's still 2 more people to come in.
Yeah, I know.
So
Well, because
maybe
they're
they're
counting
gonna
on
bring
2
more
double
people.
evictions. Yeah, they're
Mhm.
thinking there's going to be 2 double evictions, which last season there was.
Mhm.
But would they bring more people in? Like I would hate that. Like 2 weeks is one thing, but if you brought somebody into the game in week like 6, like the game's half over. They haven't had to do anything. Like that's not
What
fair.
week did they bring Gary back?
Yeah, but he was already in the game. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
bet
but,
he skipped a week or 2, didn't he?
that's still, yeah. I mean,
He was gone
yeah,
for 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know, I just feel like
someone in there in sequester.
I don't like twists very much, but the thing is it's the game, right? If someone else is gonna come in, someone else is gonna come in, right? So if I'm playing the game, I'm gonna expect the unexpected, and if someone comes in, that's just the way it is, and that's just what you got to deal with, right?
Just gotta accept it.
Because
Yeah.
there's not much you can do about it. As far as for viewers, that would be cool for us because it would be exciting.
It
Because
would.
I know as fans, we like when crazy stuff is going on behind the scenes and we can, interact with it. So if it's for ratings or whatever, it would help them.
Hmm.
I think
But
so too.
if I was in the house, it probably would annoy me a little bit, depending what week they came in. Like if they're coming in like week 8 or 7, I'd be like, get out of here. What are you doing? But
Yeah.
I really liked Adele's diary rooms. He had quite a few really good ones. The one where he was talking about when, what was it, Andrew said something to him, and it was like one fuse hit the other fuse, and it was like that was hilarious. I love that.
Hey,
And
what
then,
does
In the
Walla Bro
sheet.
mean? Does anybody know what Walla Bro is?
in the prayer, he was saying he said, I don't want to offend any Muslims, but he said Wallah something in his prayer, so I'm assuming, I don't know
Like,
what
is
it means.
Walla some kind of like a greeting or like a, like a peace be with you kind of thing or whatever? So you're saying like,
I think so,
is
because
it like,
like it was in the,
is Walla like peace bro? That kind of thing or something
Could
maybe?
be. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay, because I
was
see it on his
assuming
hat, I
it-
see it on his shirt. I'm like, what the hell is Walla Bro?
It is. Yeah.
I figured it must have something to do with that language that I don't know. So, but I just wanted to figure it out because it's all over his stuff and I'm confused. But yeah, Adele's been pretty funny. If anything else, I don't think
he's been pretty hilarious.
I don't think he's really added anything else to it. There's the one I saw I liked when he did the little sheep thing, like bah,
I did too.
bah,
That was so
bah.
funny.
It's kind of funny, right? So,
Everybody else is, just sheep.
Okay, so I'm looking at Urban Dictionary right now. Wallah is an Arabic word that means I swear to God or I swear to Allah. Wallah, I'm telling the truth. That's the
okay.
example. So I guess it has to do with that. I'm not 100% sure.
Must be sort of like a play on words or something, because Walla Bro doesn't make a whole bunch of sense then, I guess, sort of.
Yeah, I don't know.
I pray to God, bro. Okay.
Right on, man. High five.
Maybe it's just like a catchy word or something. I don't know, but what were we talking about? Oh yeah, was it Adele that came up, like figured out the whole they're gonna pull Netta down and put one of us up?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or did
It was
Kyle come up
Adele.
with it?
It was
Yeah.
Adele.
It was
Yeah.
Adele. That's what I
Adele.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's pretty smart. He's pretty tuned in.
that's the editing too.
He's
Like,
much smarter than you think he is. Yes.
Mhm.
Did
Oh, way
he
smarter.
have
He
a
plays
conversation with somebody else and they told him that, or did he actually figure it out on his own? Like, I don't know, right? So
Well, if you
something
think
that-
about it,
it's not that I
They're the
don't think
ones-
Adele's smart. I just wonder how they edit this stuff together, right? So
yeah, you never know.
because I've seen the disparity between After Dark footage and then the way it gets portrayed on the episode. I'm
Oh,
like,
I know.
that's not how it happened. You see it all the
Yeah.
time too on the feeds, right? So
Yes.
because I'll like
Drives me crazy.
pause it and I'll tell Steph, I'm like, that is nothing like the conversation. This is how it went, I like
I know.
I lose my cool, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating sometimes, the editing.
Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, so they I don't think there was really much else in that episode, other than
Not a lot.
no.
What did you guys think of the three Secret House guests videos to Canada that they had to make? You know, like they got all the clothing and then they had to go make the videos
Meh.
to like vote for me. You know.
Meh.
I liked Allison's. I thought it was really honest. Like I like Nate. He was trying, but it just wasn't. Like Nate's whole career in Big Brother, he was trying his hardest, but it just wasn't good enough, right? I think the video was like that. And Allison was she seemed so humble. She's like, I'm up against Scott. Like, I don't stand a chance against that guy. Like, come on, you know? And, you know, maybe just felt a little self-defeated and, you know, I'm just a super fan. It's an honor to be a part of this.
Well, I don't know if it's just me, but
Allison.
Scott just being, you know, just the stuff I got from him on the live feeds, he was really starting to irritate me, like really bad.
Yeah, and you know what actually I was really disappointed about and then angered by later? So first of all, my heart broke for Nate because Riss was like, Nate?
Oh, we're going all the way there now?
You are not the father. No, well, I don't know. I didn't know if we ran out of stuff to talk about.
Well, no, I just want to talk about the eviction and then Kyle leaving the house.
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the vote, that sucked.
It did.
That was really crappy.
Yeah.
I liked that Adele at least gave him his vote to stay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
that
do
was
too.
nice.
Adele is so loyal. If somebody would get him on their side,
I know.
it would be a vote.
Yeah, he would be someone really good to align with. He's a lot smarter than he looks, and he's funny. He can have a really great social game as soon as Paul's out of the equation. But you know, I would try to pull him into my alliance and be like, listen, like you can be friends with Paul, do stuff for Paul, but you and me, we're gonna work together. I don't want you telling anyone about it. Don't tell Paul about it. But you know, you just gotta keep it on the DL.
He's made it clear that he's a sprinter, so he's a runner.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I think he's pretty fast. And
I wanted to talk about too. I really love that scene that of Kyle and Adele when they did the prayer. I thought that was really cool that Kyle made the effort to get to know him more, and I thought that was really awesome.
I thought it was.
It seemed really genuine, like he was really interested in the culture and the thing.
Yeah, it was a great bonding experience. It was awesome.
All I could think the whole time was put your collar down, but that's besides the
point.
Oh,
was his collar popped?
Yeah, it drove me crazy. I hate pop collars so much that I saw it instantly.
No way.
Kyle, put your collar down. but it was such a heartwarming moment that I let it go. But yeah, did you see how like incredibly excited Adele was too by the end of it?
Oh, he was. He was like
just like jumped on him. You know, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, when Kyle left, Arissa was trying to cut him off once he left the house, and he's just like, hold on, I need to say something. And he took the stage, and he took it over, and he said what he needed to say. And then I was like, you know what, that's awesome, man.
And he said it really well, too.
He did say it well.
Yeah.
I don't know if he practiced it or if it just kind of came out, you know, like it just flowed out. But, you know, and even like Gary said in the sideshow that he was really proud of that. And I'm like, yeah, that probably hit Gary pretty hard, right?
Really awesome. And I like he kind of stepped on Arissa, like, no, just wait. I like that. You know,
I was waiting for her to like, you know, Julie Chen him like, okay, we gotta go, right, or something.
She tried a couple times. I could see, you know, when someone wants to say something and they kind of like bounce up. I saw her do that like 2 or 3 times, and he'd just look at her and he'd just keep going, and I'm like, keep going, bro. Drag it out as long as you can.
He was good. I enjoyed Kyle a lot.
Yeah, my friend at work, she's like, I'm glad they spent a bunch of time on him, even though he was leaving. I'm like, yeah, me too. You know, I'm glad they didn't know he was leaving, but maybe the writing was on the wall like a day earlier. But you know, they spent a lot of time on the episode on him, right? Which I liked because I think, you know, probably more than half of the people that disliked Kyle before that episode really turned around on him, right? So, yeah.
Well, I thought they gave him, you know, I think he got what he deserved as far as like airtime goes. I don't like when a person leaves the game and you know nothing about them. A prime example is Big Brother 15, David. Like, no, all we really knew about him was he was kind of dumb. But then he's all over social media trying to, like, you know, be out there. And same thing with Nick Uhas. Like, we didn't know much about him except for Gina Marie's psychotic love of him. Yeah. And like licking his lip gloss in the shrine, but we didn't know much about him. And then he's out and about trying to do, like, he's doing a Big Brother tour and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, it's hard to buy into that when you don't really know who this person is.
Right.
So I like that they gave Kyle that time because it'll help him in whatever endeavor he takes in the future, right? Like, we all know he's a personal trainer. What did Dave? Oh yeah, Dave.
You know, on the sideshow, Gary kept feeling his muscles. I love that.
I know.
I think it was Sabrina who said, I can see why he's a personal trainer because he was really good in the blindfolding, the cleaning challenge, right?
I could see him doing an All-Stars for Canada. I could see them bringing him back for that because I think fans really like him. I mean,
well, maybe not an All-Stars, but
if you don't feel like he had a fair shot.
Yeah, like a redemption kind of season or something.
Yeah, I'd like to see him come back.
Like him and a Neil or something like that kind of thing, right? Like
maybe not a Neil. But...
Well, I think he had a lot more game to play. I don't know. I think people aren't giving him enough credit.
I'd like to have a little bit more Alec on my screen. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew how to incorporate the knowledge he had about the game.
I think Neil just got stuck with a bad cast. Like there wasn't really anyone he could super connect with. Like he was on the outside right from the get-go, which doesn't. Anybody that's on the outside doesn't have much chance to do anything when you're in a house with that many people.
If he was on this season, Neil would do so well. But the thing is that like last season we had 2 gay guys, and Gary was much more fun and out there and flamboyant, so he made friends a lot quicker than Anil did. But I feel like if Anil was on this season, he would do really well. But yeah, I hope Kyle comes back in the future because I like him.
Yeah.
So Kyle, if you're around anywhere, we would love to have you on the show.
Oh, we would.
So yeah, then we got to see the 3 secret house guests come out, and we get they're in the war room. They're in the war room. And Nate is told it's not him, which wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, but I mean, the look in his eyes was just like
he was so bummed out.
Like Arissa just like reached into his rib cage and pulled his heart out.
Yeah,
and just watching it.
It was sad, but I kind of knew he wasn't going to go in. I think most people kind of knew.
But he didn't know that, so it kind of I felt bad. He's such a sweet guy. Like he's so nice.
Yeah.
That clip, the clip package they showed, or was that might have been on the sideshow.
Yeah,
I don't know where.
We'll get there.
Was that it? Where they put the glitter on his nipples? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was
okay.
So yeah, then it was between Scott and Allison, and I was like, oh man, if it's Scott, I'm gonna be a little irritated. Like, I don't mind Scott. It's just as far as game, it's gonna be boring as hell, and Allison is just gonna be amazing.
I had no doubt it was gonna be Allison. Like I just.
And when Arissa said it was Allison, I had to rewind it and watch it like 3 times. Scott looked so pissed.
That's what I was gonna say before. I was really disappointed by Scott's reaction. Like
he was like confused, pissed, irritated, couldn't believe it, looking at her like, what?
He couldn't even put on a fake smile. Like he was just like, oh, okay, I guess. Well, thanks for nothing. Like it was just so brutal. Like you've had a week to kind of prepare for this moment, you know.
Yeah, but he thought he was a shoo-in, and most of the people watching thought he was a shoo-in too.
Did he not think at least once, well, what if it's not me, right? What should I do?
I can guarantee you he did not, no.
No.
Do you think he did, Dee?
No, he thought it was him. Scott thought he was going in.
Oh, for sure. Like, I think he had no doubts whatsoever it was going to be him, and that's
what I think.
Why he kept wearing his drag and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, like, that reaction left a bad taste in my mouth, and then we'll talk about it later, but the way he conducted himself on the sideshow later, like, angered me.
Wow.
I got mad. Right,
we'll get to that though.
So Allison,
it was ridiculous.
So Allison wins, gets brought in the house.
I loved her reaction to everything, and she's like, "Oh, look over here!" Sits on the chair. She goes over. She sits on the chair. Goes to another chair. She's just sitting on all the chairs like Goldilocks. When she goes into the 3 Bears house.
Yeah, like I can hear the audience laughing or like chuckling at stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, it was Canada's Goldilocks trying out all the beds. I just thought it was so cute.
But
and
her reaction,
I loved her reaction.
Yeah, like she played it off so well. Like she pulled it off pro, and she was like a true actor. She was like immersed in the role. Like when she
only had like a minute to figure out what she's doing from walking
the first one
out.
here. Yeah, let's talk about those.
She cannot tell we need to
Let's talk about those rules.
She cannot tell, yeah.
I know.
Those rules are crazy.
She cannot tell.
I like
she
it.
was in the war room, and she cannot tell, anything about the other house guests.
I'm so glad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We were talking last episode
about.
about.
What did y'all think about her story?
I thought it was good.
It's not airtight, but it's about as good as
it's not airtight, but it was for coming up with it, because really she only had that walk from the war room through the back, like the backstage area, into the house, and that 1-2 minutes that she had in the house to come up with something. I liked that she was quick on her toes, and she's looking at them like, what the hell, what are you guys doing here? Mm-hmm. And when they come in, she's like, I thought I was the first one here. How long have you guys been here?
Right.
Yeah,
I like
that. You guys are already here? That was awesome.
Right. I don't know what else she could have done.
There's nothing really.
She probably had a few stories in her mind, like, this is what I'll tell them when I get in there. So it probably wasn't her coming up with that.
No, but I don't think that I don't think any of them were baking on the fact that they wouldn't be able to use that information.
I mean,
no, they did not know they weren't going to be able to use
that
information. No.
So I think they thought, okay, if I go into this game, I'll make alliances with people, I'll tell them the truth about what's been going on and what I know, and they're thinking of how to use that information. And to have Arissa just say, no, nothing, we're not saying a word,
it's
then in those,
for eviction.
Yeah, those 4 minutes that you have, you got to think of something really fast, and I think she did really good. I think Scott would have, honestly, I think he would have blown it.
He'd already blown it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to disagree. If that wasn't my position, or if I was in that position, I would be coming up with 6 different stories, and then I'd pick which one I need to use when the time comes. So I think she had it ready, along with other stuff. I'm going to be honest. If I can't be honest, I'll do this. If I can't do that, I'll do this. So maybe that was the best one for her.
So you thought that you thought that they would, okay, you thought that she thought that they wouldn't let her give that information up?
No, I am assuming, because this is what I would do, and she seems like a super fan like me, that, okay, well, I can't just have one plan, because if that blows up in my face, then I panic and then I fail. So I'm going to come up with 6 different plans, Mm-hmm. Okay, this is how I'll do it if I tell them the truth. This is how I'll do it if I, tell one person. This is how I'll do it if
honestly, I wouldn't have thought
tell a complete lie, right?
I wouldn't have thought that they would make me keep it a secret, because Big Brother is notorious for blowing people's games up.
I don't so either. I never dreamed.
The only other time that they have done a situation like that where they're like, you cannot say anything, was America's Player with Eric.
Yeah, but that's not my point. I'm not saying that she was counting on them giving her those rules. I'm saying that Arissa could have said, you can go in and tell them anything you want about whatever. You can be completely honest if you want. And she could have still played off you guys just got here. You guys have been here the whole time? She could have done that. That's what I'm saying. She probably had this planned out along with a couple other stories, and this one just fit because of the rules. So I don't think she was counting on any rules, but, just had some game plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe she did think of it on the spot. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we will one day. But
yeah, I don't know. I thought she did a good job thinking on her toes.
It seemed like it was prepared because she played it off so well. She had time to think about it, because you just won your way into the house. You have 1 minute. You're being led up some stairs. You're in the house. I think all of that emotion, it would be hard to really stay focused unless you've been preparing for it for a week. That's my only thought is all that time in that room with those two, she must have been thinking about this stuff, right?
Yeah, so. I never thought that they would keep it a secret, and I didn't think that they would make her keep it a secret either. I thought either Arissa was going to blow it up or Allison was going to use it to her advantage, and it just didn't happen. But
yeah,
it's cool. She's in the house. She seems super appreciative of it, which is awesome. The little bit I watched on After Dark last night was surprising, because Sabrina seems to have a brain, and she was trying to not that she's super genius or anything, but she's like, this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because this, and this, and this, and this. So it seemed like she was calculating things properly in her head, which was a little surprising for me. As far as Allison's answers for a lot of the questions, they're pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. She just kept saying
she said, "You think Canada voted me in?" And I thought, oh. So she almost outed herself today. Now,
I wonder what the stipulations are for what she can and cannot say. If she can even say things like that. I'm sure it's probably fine.
Well, hold on, because what Arissa said is you cannot tell them about the war room. and you cannot. What else did she say? You cannot tell them about what? What was the other thing?
That Canada voted you in, and you weren't watching them.
And the other house guests, yeah. She couldn't talk about Nader Scott and that Canada. Well, did they say you can't say Canada voted him? I don't think they said that.
I don't think
they didn't say anything about that. I don't think.
No. You can't tell them that you've been watching them, and you can't tell them about the war room, I think.
Right. That was the two things, I think. So I don't know how long she can keep this up. The alcohol's flowing pretty freely. So, I don't know. But, you guys ready for some have-nots or half-nots?
Sure.
Well, real quick, I just want to say, shocking, Ika. Did anyone think Ika would win that HOH?
No. Oh. I can't believe 5 of them got that last question wrong.
That was a crapshoot. I mean,
yeah, I know. But I think this is going to be a crazy week because Ika is crazy.
I'm not excited about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much the episode. So let's get to some live feed stuff here. What's going down, Dee?
Lots. Everything is just changing by the minute. They had a half-knot competition this afternoon. And John, Paul, don't you love it, and Allison are the 3 half-knots. They did not give them an additional supplement food yet. No additional supplement food as of now.
So Allison has immunity from the vote, though, right?
Yeah, they were talking about that on the
week. Yes, she did not play in the HOA.
So she can't be nominated. She can't be in the veto comp, but she could be a half-knot.
Yeah.
And she can play for next HOH, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so now you've got Ika. She's trying to decide what she's going to do. Well, you know who the 2. Logical choices are. If you don't want to rock any boats, you don't want to make anybody mad, she's thinking, well, Paul and Adele. Actually, Ika was really thinking, she really wanted to put up Andrew and maybe Kenny, I think. But I don't think she thought she had the backing for that.
That would have been funny if she did it anyway, and then it blew up in her face. That would have been awesome.
Does Ika have, a legitimate alliance at this point, Dee?
Rochelle?
No, Ika.
No, I know, but is she with Rochelle, or are they not? I think Rochelle and Sabrina are pretty tight, but I don't know about Ika.
The girls' alliance is still pretending to be an alliance. So yes, she has that as of now.
So Ika doesn't have her own specific alliance with anyone in the house at this point. She's just in a major.
The girls' alliance is a real alliance. They have to stick together. But now Sarah and Sabrina, they're also with the boys and Rochelle and Netta, but they're still saying they have to stick together or else the boys will run the house. And I don't know, but what they're going to do is Paul is going to go up. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Paul and Adele went and talked to Ika, and they pretty much, Adele made a lot of headway, I think, with Ika. And Ika is going to put Heather up as of right now.
What?
Nice.
She went to Heather. She talked to Heather. She blew it off like, if I put Sabrina up, she'll hold a grudge. If I put Rochelle up, she'll hold a grudge. You're the only one that wouldn't hold a grudge, and all this.
Oh, that means she's not going to do anything.
About it. Well, no, it doesn't. Heather's not happy about it, but she's accepting it. Now, Ika is not going to let anyone tell her what to do. So, if Paul wins that veto and takes himself off, or say Heather does, will she backdoor one of those guys? I don't know. At this point, I don't think she's got the backing to do it. But would she have the gall to do it? Yeah, I think she would. She would. But at this point, she's going to put up Heather and Paul tomorrow. There's no doubt in my mind. And and Heather's crying. She's all upset. She's made this dinner for her boyfriend, and for his birthday, you know, and everything on the live feed. She's there now. They're all singing happy birthday to him
Huh?
and stuff. And then now
What do you mean she made dinner for her boyfriend?
She's making it in honor of her boyfriend.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, and Sarah helped her make a cake. It was actually a pretty nice looking cake and stuff. I'm getting a lot of static here, guys. Anyway,
That's dumb.
dinner deal?
Maybe I'm just too jaded, but like, if someone's like, oh, let's make a cake for my boyfriend who's not here, I'd be like, shut up. You're an idiot. I'm not having a part of that. That's stupid.
You're dumb. Yeah.
They're gonna make a dummy for him and like sit him at the table. Oh, so dumb. Oh,
so
my
Heather,
well, no, she didn't do that. I mean, she
I know.
said I want to make a nice dinner. She said it's my boyfriend's 26th birthday, and she said I want to make what we make, and I'd like to make him a cake. So we have a cake mix, and they found a cake mix, and Sarah helped her. Sarah bakes a lot, evidently, at home, and you know, all that kind of stuff.
Because if it's his birthday, that's not so bad.
I think I'm just too jaded in life at this point. I think that's so stupid. But that's just grouchy old Kassie.
It was a little Heatherish. But anyway, there's not a whole lot to do in the Big Brother house.
No, that is true, yeah. So any event that you can do is good.
Helps with the live feeds. Anyway, so in the meantime, Sabrina is causing 9 kinds of hell.
I am ready to roundhouse kick her in the face.
Well, she's going from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Just stirring stuff as big as she can. But the story gets bigger and better, and usually she adds to it. She does, I mean...
So
she like one of the fish was this big, and then the next time the fish was this big type of scenario?
Well, it may be a whole different fish. Yeah, she's
I caught a trout, and then I caught a shark, and then I caught a whale. Yeah. So what is she saying, and to who? Because I don't know what stirring stuff up means. Like, what stories is she spreading around?
She's telling everybody something different. She's telling the boys and stuff, you know, that she doesn't like Ika. Of course, Sarah and Ika have gotten into this big disagreement over a chip. Okay, Sarah was slicing potatoes, and Ika said, "Can I have one of those?" Well, it was a have-not food. And Sarah said no, because Adele was making, you know, regular fries on the other side. She said no. You know, she'd spent 2 hours making them. She said no. Ika took one anyway. So Sarah blew up.
Oh, my God.
I'd be mad, too. I'd be like, don't fucking touch my half-not food. That is my food. Like, screw you.
That's pretty much what she said.
You're HOH. Like, go eat M&Ms and leave my shit alone. That was like Jeremy drinking all the chocolate milk.
No, that was last week when Sarah was a have-not. They just got off have-nots Thursday.
Oh, okay. Then it's not such a big deal.
Yeah. Well, it's still, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's still, you know, there was still a lot of tension.
Yeah.
Sarah went and talked to her, and, you know, everything seemed like it was going to work out. Well, then here comes Sabrina. You know, she wants to talk about Heather. She wants to talk about Rochelle. She wants to talk about Netta. She doesn't talk about Sarah. You know, that's pretty funny. Sarah's the only one she does not talk about. But she makes up so much as she goes. I just have to think she's bound to get caught eventually.
For sure. Really... That's probably why she's not saying anything about Sarah, is because she knows that's one person who would call her out. Sarah wouldn't stand for that. If she heard that Sabrina was saying stuff, I know she would be like, excuse me, like she would flip out. I think the other girls...
Sarah knows a lot of things that Sabrina's saying is not true. She has to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Sarah's smart. And like a lot of the other girls that Sabrina's talking about, they're all young and, you know, immature and all that, so they're not going to get as riled up as someone like Sarah would. I don't know. I personally wouldn't mess with Sarah. Like, I wouldn't say anything bad about her. No. I would not mess with her.
She's way too smart.
Well, then you've got Ika and Rochelle fighting, and you've got Ika and Sabrina fighting. Sabrina called Ika a bitch, said she thought she acted like a bitch and she was a bitch and all this stuff. And I'm the only one that's not afraid of you, and I'm the only one that'll say it to your face.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, that blew up. Well, you know, Sabrina keeps saying, you know, that's over, and I keep saying, no, yeah, I can work with you, but I don't really like you, you know. So it's just and Rochelle is saying,
Really.
can I just talk to you alone? Can I just talk to you alone? Because Ika and Sabrina are dragging Rochelle into it, and Rochelle's afraid of Sabrina being mad at her because Sabrina's pretty much running stuff. How she is not getting caught, I really don't know. But then you've got Allison. She's hanging out with the guys. She's not hanging out with the girls. You don't really catch Sarah in a lot of the girl stuff either. She pretty much distances herself. But you've got Allison over here with the guys, and you've got Allison last night. Netta spilled a little beer. Well, you've got Allison down there licking it up, and you've got Andrew on one knee. You know, he's proposing to Allison, asking her to marry him.
Yeah.
And you've got Sabrina watching all this. Sabrina and Andrew have been sleeping in the same bed together. And Sabrina kissed Kenny last night. I have to let that soak in for a minute there.
Oh, no. This is such a stereotypical story.
Oh, Sabrina. She is...
Kenny.
She is a time bomb waiting to explode.
I don't want to...
Like, you're just going to catch up with her.
I don't want to sound like a rude jerk, but you always hear of stories of... no, I'm just not even going to say it. I'll save it for our private moments between the three of us.
Anyway, so then you've got that going on. Well, then you've got Sabrina watching Andrew over here with Allison. How long do you think it's going to take for that to blow up? Not very long.
She's already on to Allison, so she's
already jealous of
she's going to be looking for excuses, right?
The thing is I knew Allison going into the house. I knew she was probably the only girl I thought she would maybe work with was going to be Sarah. I knew that she was going to align with the guys right away. I knew she wasn't going to have anything to do with any of that drama. That girl's been watching Big Brother since she was 11 years old. And any female who is a diehard of the show knows to be very careful with the women on the shows and stay either super far away from them or be very careful who you align with. So it just proves that she is a super fan and that she loves the show. You know, like last season when Alyssa was like, oh, I want to have the first female alliance. Well, you know, maybe she has watched quite a few seasons, but the thing is that they don't work. It just doesn't work. I would love for it to work. It just doesn't work. And Allison is too smart for that. And
especially
she's not,
when Alyssa's leading the charge.
well, and I just knew that Alyssa wasn't going to have anything. And I think it's either going to be Allison or Sarah that's going to call Sabrina out, and it's going to get ugly.
It's probably going to be Sabrina and Ika that are going to get into a knockdown drag-out.
Well, the thing with Ika too
happened last night.
The thing with Ika too is that you either love her or you really hate her.
Yes.
There's no middle ground with her, and with her being HOH, it's really she's gonna figure out right away who, if people like her or not.
Talking about Heather behind her back. Every single thing is going on, but what I see happening.
She's an easy target, though, Dee. She's an easy target.
Heather.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She is.
Because she won't fight back.
Doing her thing.
Yeah, she won't fight back.
Fixing dinner and everything. She's, but now she is acting upset, and I think Heather is a little bit smarter than we're giving her credit for.
Oh, for sure.
She said, "Pawns go home. I don't want to do this. I want it well known that I did not say I would. It was okay to be put up."
Pawns don't always go home, though. That's what bugs me now, especially after Spencer's run this last summer. Nobody can say that anymore because it's just not the case. But
well, she's afraid that, I don't know, of the veto and all that. Well, she doesn't trust anybody. Nobody trusts anybody. Sarah and Sabrina trust each other. Okay, and then you've got Kenny and Andrew. I think they trust each other. Then you've got John and Netta and sort of Rochelle here.
Yeah.
Maybe trust each other. But other than that, there is nobody that actually, they're all faking it. I mean, it's the biggest put on your smiley face show I've ever seen this season.
And I love it.
It's just like, are you people kidding me? But Sabrina, there is this jealousy thing, this three with Allison, it is got to blow. No
Oh,
way.
for sure. And like she's getting so much because Allison is a very beautiful girl, and
Yes,
when she came into the house, like she's getting all the attention, not just because she's pretty, but because she's new to the game and they don't know anything about her. She's a super fan, so the guys can talk to her about all that kind of stuff, past seasons and everything. And in my opinion, she's a guy's girl. You know, she
yes.
seems like someone that can sit there and talk about boobs, beers, and trucks, and then also talk strategy. So she's a lot more fun to be around. I don't see her being dramatic. So Sabrina, yeah, I can understand why she's jealous. She was getting a ton of attention before,
And we
but
need to
now it's
mention
just
that Allison is a psych nurse too. We need to
yeah,
mention that,
yeah.
you know, so she's reading everybody. She
Oh, I
wants no
forgot about
part
that.
of that girl drama.
Oh
I
no,
can
she's
tell
Oh
you.
my God, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, she's reading people,
Wow.
Jason.
Like, oh my God, I forgot about that entirely. Wow, she's gonna win this game. I mean,
she's really good.
She's very
like she
likely.
just her knowledge of the game and her super fandom was already enough. But then to be a psych nurse on top of that, like, wow. Yeah. Is there anyone?
Maybe she could give Sabrina some like Ativan or something to calm her the F down.
That, I heard that on After
Hey,
Dark.
I
Like,
want to know what this gravel is they keep giving them for their stomach. What is gravel?
Oh, it's amazing, Dee. They don't have it in the States.
I've never
oh
heard of
really?
it.
It's like, oh my God, I can't remember the ingredients. It's like diamond hydronide something. Anyways, it's like an anti-nauseant, and you take it and you pass the F out. It's
It's not.
amazing.
It's not that. Like it has some. Yeah, it makes you a little sleepy. It takes away your nausea, but it doesn't knock you out. Like I
Yes,
wouldn't
it
say.
does. Okay, take 3 before you get on a
Probably
plane.
not
Tell me how you
Jason
feel
Kassie.
after.
Well, okay, if you take 3, which is not normal, you take
It's
1 if you're feeling
it says
upset.
it says not to take more than 8 in a day. So you take 3. That's like way below the recommended dose.
Yeah,
There you
but
go,
Fine.
Jason.
you're making it sound like Percocets or something, which it is not. But speaking of Percocets, when I was listening to After Dark last night, they were all talking about these prescription drugs that they take, and I'm like, is it just me, or like, am I missing this boat on the Xanax, Percocet, all these
I don't
crazy
know, a lot of
drugs people
people
get
in
prescribed? Like,
Not
BB15,
good.
a lot of people on BB15 were on prescriptions too, right, Dee?
yeah, like I don't
Jason
understand.
Sudeikis
You
told
know,
me
he
that.
was on Xanax for anxiety, but as far as I know, he took it like he was supposed
Like
to.
Sabrina said, when I get anxiety, I pop pills like a mother effer, and I'm like, what? Like,
Sabrina doesn't need any pills.
yeah, I know, but I mean, just like I don't know what
Oh my
if I
God, could you imagine her not on pills though?
because
No.
That might be even more
I'm the
scary.
same age as all these people. It's not like they're the youngsters with all their prescription drugs. Like, where did this all come from? Like, I don't
That is
I know.
understand.
I think honestly, I think you have to be pretty wacko to even go on the show. So
Yeah.
I think it's
Maybe
just
so.
But I don't
But,
know
you know,
anyone like that.
fascinating.
Like I've never met
Yeah,
anyone
some-
it's like, yeah, I take Xanax and I take this and I take that. I'm like, what? Like, so it's just strange because all these people in
at
the room.
24 years old, 25 years old, that, you know,
Yeah.
why would you need all that? That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's crazy. So when that whole conversation started on After Dark last night, I'm just like, what? This is. It was like when I found out that 75% of the BB15 house guests take prescription meds
Yeah.
on a regular basis. I'm like, really? There's a house full of pill poppers? Like, what's going on here? Like,
Oh,
Well, you know, we had the attention stuff, you know, we had the medicine for attention deficit disorder and stuff, you know,
yeah.
and all that
Yeah,
on BB15.
I forgot. I wanted to quickly touch on last night on the sideshow. After Peter had his little freak out, I started messaging Dee because I was like, well, what the hell is he talking about? So I know, like, I did a ton of research and I really couldn't find anything, and Dee had a good answer that kind of explained it for me a little bit better. So I was just wanting you to kind of talk about that real quick for people who didn't really understand what the hell was going on in that moment.
Evidently, whenever Scott went in the war room, he made a derogatory comment about Dr. Will or didn't know who Dr. Will was. The way I understood it, he didn't know who Dr. Will was.
Mm-hmm.
Allison was talking about Dr. Will. Well, Peter blasted him on the sideshow
Mm-hmm.
because Dr. Will is Peter's idol.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think Gary and Peter on that sideshow are playing good cop, bad cop. What do you think?
I agree. I agreed wholeheartedly with what you actually said to me last night. Is it okay if I say it?
Sure.
Okay. So Dee said last night that she thinks that whole thing was scripted for Peter, and
I don't know about that.
I kind of agree because it seemed like he had that too quickly, and especially he was referencing something that wasn't even on the episodes, so it would create buzz within the Big Brother community. Because then everyone's like, oh my God, like I know, I was like, I gotta find out where this is, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Now, because he started making slanderous remarks, did he talk about any other people that were on the show before? Like, was he talking about BB? Like, was Scott talking shit about BB Can people?
I know the one comment that Scott made when Allison was listing through the winners, all the winners, and she listed Dr. Will for season 2.
Besides Dr. Will.
No, I know, but let me finish here.
Okay, sorry.
So on the season 2, and he's like, who? And she was like, Dr. Will Kirby. And he's like, huh? And she's like, no, like Boogie and Will. And he's like, oh, right. And then they just kept going on. So that's the one I saw. So I was like, oh, it must not be that. He must have said something else because he said you offended someone. So I was like, he had to have said something really bad. But
I didn't see it if he did.
I didn't either. I don't know. It just seemed really contrived for Peter.
Well, Peter had all that time to sit there and think about that and think about what he was going to say whenever Scott didn't get in the house if he didn't. So, Peter had that thought up. He had to have.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just the way Peter is. He must have had that prepared for himself. Yeah. Like I don't think somebody handed him a cue card and said,
"Oh no, I didn't."
Here's what you're saying, right?
No. I didn't mean like scripted. Like here's your lines, man.
Right. Yeah.
I just mean like he's been working that up all week and then.
That.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a YouTuber. That's what he does, right? He gets his thoughts in order, comes up with the best way to say it, and then delivers it, right?
He didn't know Scott wasn't going in the house.
But he had to assume that he wasn't going to because Allison was going to because he's probably on Twitter. He sees all the support Allison's getting. He can only hope and assume that she's going in, right?
I just found it really random. I found it really random. It wasn't even on topic.
It wasn't.
And I just found it was like, shut up, Peter.
Well, it just what? Yeah.
When Scott, when Scott said, everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's like, yeah, so just shut up. Like, not everybody's gonna like who you love, Peter. So shut up. And I have lots of respect for Peter. I do. I just thought that what he did, what he said to Scott, I found it really, really tacky. It was just tacky.
It was a little strong, wasn't it?
I wonder if Scott said something else about other house guests, not just Dr. Will, but somebody else, because he
had to have, because to be that angry.
Really made a big deal about it. And, if he was talking shit about people, because I think Peter made a good point that you don't talk crap about the people that came before you, like have respect for the people that played this game. So, but I think Peter might have been irritated by Scott on the sideshow because I was irritated by Scott on the sideshow. Like, he was talking over everyone, he was interrupting, he was getting off topic, he was just trying to grab as much attention as he could, and it didn't seem like he was
Scott. You know that's going to happen.
But he wasn't doing it in a respectful way. Like, Gary grabs the attention when it's allotted to him. He doesn't steal it from everybody else. You know what I mean? So I didn't like the way Scott conducted himself, and I wonder if Peter was annoyed by it as well, and then laid into him afterwards about something unrelated. Right?
I don't know. I just feel like that if it is about Scott saying who about Dr. Will, it did not garner that much anger. It did not garner that much resentment towards it and that verbal lambasting. It was just tacky. And I can understand being irritated with Scott, but it's Scott. Like, how he's going to be. He's like Gary on steroids. Like, he's very, very much in your face. He's really flamboyant. And, it was, to me, it was like almost Peter wasn't prepared for that, or overly prepared. I just wasn't a fan of it. I didn't like it. I just thought it was gross.
Because
another thing we need to mention is about John. I mean, he's in a sling.
What the hell happened?
How long he's going to be in that sling?
What happened?
He was messing around in the pool and he pulled his shoulder out of socket. He
pops
it out. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it happened during the.
No, he was in the pool messing around, playing around.
Weird. Yeah, I was trying to figure out because I just all of a sudden see the sling and they didn't cover it, and I was like, what the heck did this guy do?
I don't know how long. Yeah, I don't know how long that will take to heal. I've been wondering about that myself. This competition didn't matter. You know, we don't know what the veto's going to be. You know, we don't know if John will even get picked for the veto. But, you know, is that going to come into play? Then last night, you know, his knuckles were all yucky. And they broke glass in the backyard. You know, they got quite a bit of alcohol last night. They got a first load, and then they asked for another one, and then they got another one. You know, so they were having a good time last night. But I don't know if Paul and Adele are going to fight this week over this. You know, if Adele gets put on the block, if anybody wins the veto, Adele will go up.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It looks, you know, in Heather's place or Paul's. But it looks like right now that Paul is who they want out. They don't like Paul because he backstabs, you know. Okay, Sabrina, yesterday I got so tickled. Sabrina will not accept Adele's apology. I mean, he can apologize 20 times. He keeps saying, I'm not going to apologize.
Oh, the cow thing.
I did not call you a cow. I did not do that. He said, yes, I moved, but I did not call you a cow. Well, then you see Paul go right over to Sabrina and whisper in her ear, yes, he did. So that's what made Ika mad. Ika wanted to work with Adele and Paul, and she wanted to put up, you know, perhaps Andrew and Kenny, some of that combination.
Yeah, but he's making it impossible.
He's making it impossible for her to work with him because she cannot trust him. She trusts Adele. I mean, she would totally work with Adele. She does not. She called Paul up there and she said, "I can't trust you. You know,
at this point, Paul is a liability for Adele. He's a total liability. He needs to cut the tie.
Time. Yeah, Adele needs to bad. But anyway, Adele finds out. You know, Ika plainly tells Adele what Paul has done. Adele blows it off as stupidity. Forgives him again. We're right back to square one. I'm not sure what Paul is thinking, but every chance and every opportunity he gets to get back in, he blows it.
I don't know. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I don't know if he's doing this on purpose or if he's stupid or I don't know. He's confusing the hell out of me.
And he's supposed to be a motivational speaker. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know what the hell's going on with this guy. It's weird.
Me neither.
I can't figure it out. I would not want him teaching me motivational speaking.
No, I would not either.
Because he is like a bipolar mess. He is all over the place. Ugh, I don't understand what he's doing. I don't know if it's his strategy or what the hell is going on, but he needs to figure his shit out or he needs to get the hell out of the house because it's getting really frustrating.
It is. It's really, I don't know. But anyway, he had another chance. He blew it. So I don't think Ike is going to give him another chance. If he does not win the veto, he will go.
Well, this depends on who pisses Ike off more this week.
Well,
you never know.
That's true, too. And I don't know how long Sabrina it's going to take for her lies to catch up with her. They have got to catch up with her. I mean,
they will. And it's going to be ugly.
It's going to be really ugly because when it does catch up, see, and I don't understand. Well, Ned is kind of standing back as she's not really getting involved a lot. But Rochelle is right there. You know, I don't understand Rochelle. She's acting dumb. You know, it's like, are you not catching on to what is actually going on?
Yeah, and it's hard to figure out if she's acting or if she's legitimately like that or if she's just trying to play stupid and get more information. I'm having a hard time figuring her out, Paul out, and
Sabrina Sarah told her that she needed to get a better game face, and she actually does. Because, you know, Heather came out there, you know, crying and everything, and Rochelle would just, oh, well, you know. The rest of them are hugging her and all this. She doesn't really seem to care. Now, Heather, I was impressed with Heather. I think she sees a lot more than what we know she does.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
She said, I don't know how much I'm in with everybody to know if I'm going to get, you know, if I'll get voted out. So at that moment, I thought, this girl is probably paying more attention than we're giving her credit for.
Well, and the thing about her that's actually
she's
quite
trying to
funny
be real sweet. Yeah, she's trying to be real sweet.
It's like she's kind of like a fly on the wall because when she's in the room, people just like don't even like they don't even feel like she exists, so they kind of just talk openly around her anyway. So she's getting like really good access to a lot of conversations and things that are going on. So.
Yes, she is. Well, I don't think they're taking her serious because
Well,
she
I
just
know.
comes in there happy and all this. But I think she's playing the game. I didn't think that at first. I do think she is now because she changed. You know, when it got mentioned that she go up, she changed. It was like.
Maybe that's what she needed, because I have to see it to believe it, because she's been doing nothing, and she would continue to do nothing, and that's why you said, oh, she's going up as a pawn. I'm like, so does this mean she's just gonna say, so I'm good, right? I'm good, right? All week, and then not do anything? So
she's crying and she's really upset. So we'll see. Either she's really upset or she's trying to make them think she's really upset.
I hope she turns it up, because I don't want anybody. Like, it doesn't look like there's many floaters, and I don't want a floater. I just want everybody playing, and she's the only one that doesn't seem to not be, right? So.
I don't see a floater, no. I don't see any floaters.
Yeah, it's too early for
now. Yeah.
to call people that anyway.
We don't have any. We really don't have an. If we had an Andy, you know, or something per se this season, I would say it would be Rochelle or Netta.
Okay.
That would win?
No, an Andy that would be, you know, kind of leaning back and
someone who's acting like Andy. Okay, I get what you're saying.
You know, I think they're taking a lot more in than what they're sharing. Now, Rochelle's not. She's gotten caught in several conversations, you know, and what Sabrina does is, you know, when she first gets to talking, you know, whenever she gets called out, it's Sabrina's fault, right? So everybody's calling Sabrina out, telling her what she does. By the time she's done talking, she has turned the conversation back on you, and it's your fault. And what you have said, whether you've said anything or not, in front of others. So she, you know, I think everybody is afraid that Sabrina can get them out, you know, because of these guys over here. And I think they're afraid of Ika, literally.
Yeah.
So you've got two things going on there, you know. And then you've got Sarah, you know, she's kind of cleaning up Sabrina's messes.
She needs to stop that. Stop it, Sarah.
I agree.
Because it's going to ruin her game.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Totally.
Well, I think Sabrina's going to eventually take her down with her. There's just, you know,
I hope not. I really don't want Sarah to go.
I don't see how she can't.
I think the first 5 is going to end up cutting her loose at some point. Because there's no way, if she really blows up her own game, there's no way Kenny is going to want to hang on to her. There's no way Sarah is going to stay attached to her. And even if she's with Andrew, he's going to be... He doesn't seem like the Emmett or the oh my god, the Tom type that's just, oh, I'm gonna stay with the sinking ship and go down with her because she's my girl, you know.
Well, and like I said too, like with Allison in the house now, I think that first 5 alliance, I think they're gonna take her on, and like I said, I think Sabrina's gonna go down on the totem pole.
Yeah.
Well, the
or just
first 5
swap her,
has
you know.
pulled in John and Netta.
Yes.
They don't know they're pulled into the first 5 alliance, but they have actually pulled those 2 into that alliance.
Okay. So who specifically? Because they don't like Andrew. So who was it? Arlie that brought him in, or Arlie Sabrina, or?
This was before the conflict with John and Andrew.
You
know, there's not really any conflict anymore. Kenny smoothed that over and everything.
Okay.
So they're pulled in, you know, as backup votes is what they are.
Yeah.
Backup votes. So they're pulled into that alliance, and if they, you know, if that alliance right there holds, plus John and Netta, it's going to be hard to.
That's a majority.
The rest of them off pretty quick, yeah.
I have a prediction for the week. I think Sabrina's going to piss Ika off, and I think Ika's going to go for blood, and my prediction is Sabrina's going to go up.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, would I so love that.
That's my gut instinct. As soon as Ika won, I was like, oh, she's so screwed.
You know what, I'm gonna agree, because Sabrina seems like she's running her mouth because she feels safe, because she's got the first 5 behind her. So that's probably why she's acting up.
Not only is she running her mouth, she's not even anywhere near telling the truth. I mean, a story that somebody else has overheard, she is twisting and turning it and making it a different story.
Yeah. And I think of anyone that could have won HOH.
How do they not know?
Yeah, and of anyone that could have won HOH, I think Ika honestly is the only one that would take her out. So I think Sabrina has this entitlement now in the game, and she feels untouchable, and it's a crock, and she's going to keep doing what she's been doing this entire time. And Ika is straight up, and she's going to be like, no, you're done. And I honestly, my gut is saying that she's going.
Well, Ika is not going to put up with her, and Ika has already told her, you know, okay, I need you in this game. We need to stick together, but no, I don't like you.
Yeah. Well, and she might just be saying that, too, to make sure that Sabrina feels comfortable enough, that she feels safe enough so that, you know, when she does get backdoored, it's going to be a shock. Like,
I'm going to make a prediction that next week, Ika's gone.
I've been feeling that, too, actually. I have been feeling that way.
Sabrina's already campaigning for that to the guys.
Mm-hmm. I think she'll take that bad guy role because, you know,
but at least I think she'll get Sabrina out in the process, so it's fine.
I think Paul was trying to play the part of bad guy, but I don't think he can sustain that. Whereas I think Ika is just like that, so she doesn't have to try. She's just going to be the bad guy all the time, so people might want to keep her around because who's going to vote for Ika at the end of the game, right? So I could see it leaning that way, but I would love to see her go home next week. That would be just perfect.
Well, the thing I like about Ika, though, is that she doesn't fart around the truth. She's very blunt, so I feel like that's going to be the thing that gets her kicked out of the house, but I think that's also going to be the thing that's going to get Sabrina out of the house. So it's like one good with one bad, fine, great.
Right. Something's got to give because, like I said, Sabrina's just boldly lying about stories, and they know the stories. I mean, and they're just flat overlooking it.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. So I don't.
Well, people don't like troublemakers in the game. Like, look at Tom from last season. He was constantly causing trouble, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, get this guy out of here! Like, he's driving us crazy."
And then you've also got the Allison and Andrew thing going on over here. That's bound to blow too.
Well, I know because I know Sabrina really likes Andrew.
She does, and she likes Kenny. But Kenny doesn't.
Sabrina likes every guy. She's that girl that has a crush on every guy, and then you're like, oh, I like this person, and she's like, what? I like him. And you're like, listen, lady, you like everybody. And she's like, oh, whatever. Like Jesse last season.
Yeah.
Jesse on Big Brother 15. It's very much like that.
I'm the only one that doesn't have a boyfriend.
Oh, God, shut up,
There's
girl.
Judd.
She's talked about that, that ex
and
everything.
Guys, the Judd thing. How cool was that?
I loved that Judd thing, yeah.
That was awesome.
That Judd got to ask him a question, yeah.
That was wicked. And oh my God, Allison's reaction I think was the best part because to me it didn't seem like Scott really knew what was going on. Nate looked like he knew, but Allison was just like, she looked like she was ready to cry.
Yeah, I'm not even sure Scott knew who Judd was.
I don't think he did, honestly,
no. I don't either. He started saying, that he was a fan and he watched and everything, and I thought, I don't think you did.
No. He's probably only watched a certain episodes and stuff, but yeah, Allison, she looked like she was going to have like a mental breakdown. She's like, oh my God, it's Judd! Like, it was so cute. But I really like that Judd did that.
I know. How funny is this week going to be with Paul on Sloth now?
Oh,
it's very funny.
Oh, I wanted to say, you guys, we need to start a hashtag about the yellow shirt, like Operation Burn the Shirt or something. Something has to happen with that yellow shirt because I hate it.
What about that brown one with the big rip in it? Like, where did that come from?
No, the yellow one. You know which one I'm talking about.
No, I know, but
hangs out of it. I thought of doing another segment of Crap Hat of the Week because he wears all these crappy hats.
They don't fit his head, do they?
The brown hat was going to be this week's Crap Hat of the Week because I hated it, but he needs a fashion person. Gary should go in the house and fix up his fashion.
That's Netta. Netta's a fashion stylist.
And she's not helping him.
Help him out. Yeah, she needs to help him out.
She needs to, yeah. Just give him a moo-moo.
He needs something. He's not ever going to make it this entire week. He was already talking about cheating and eating. And the rest of them were saying, no.
What happens
the whole house might get punished.
What happens? Oh, the whole house gets punished if someone cheats?
I don't know. They were guessing that.
I know it happened on Evil Dick season with, what the hell was her name? Jen. The one that cried over her picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jen.
And I don't think they did anything really to her.
They called her to the diary room. I don't know what they did with her then.
I think there's warnings, and then I think there might be a house punishment, and then I think even like worst case is they start taking money away from you. Like you get fined. Yeah.
What?
Because you get those weekly, yeah, stipends or whatever. That's right.
You get a what?
Stipends, yeah.
What?
It's so much money a week.
Yeah, they give you like a $700 a week or something to be on the show. So.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. So then they start taking money out of that.
Yeah, they'll take things away if you break something or something that was intentional.
I was wondering, I've been wondering this for years and years and years, and I was hoping that maybe one of you guys would know the answer to this. If you're a have-not and you stick the food in your mouth, you don't eat it, does that count?
I don't think so. Not if you don't swallow it.
You're still tasting it. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know either.
I wonder. I would just be going and sticking everything in my mouth, just at least to get the flavor, and then spit it out and then eat some slop.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think they're going to let you do that.
No, I don't think so. I've always wondered.
Because how do you prove that you didn't swallow it, right?
Yeah, I know. And I was thinking of all these things. I was like, what if you snorted food? Because you're technically not eating it.
Well, they did smell the ice cream the other day. Sarah and Sarah and Rochelle were smelling the ice cream.
Just like fill up the neti pot with some ice cream.
I felt bad for
Paul is going to be hilarious.
He's going to be such a grouch.
Oh, Adele has already given him 9 kinds of trouble teasing him, saying how good
I wonder if any of them picked their nose immediately after finding out they were going to be on slop. Do you guys know what I'm referencing? No? Oh, last year when Gary had to go on slop. They were like, Gary, you are now a have-not. And he was like, what? And he turned around and he picked his nose, and then he ran into the house. It was so weird. I was like, why did he pick his nose?
Oh, that freak out was hilarious, though.
You guys don't remember that? I'll have to find that for the
next
next
time. I remember the freak out, yeah.
Yeah, he picked his nose, like straight up picks his nose.
I remember that, yeah. I love the farting segment tonight, or last night.
That
made me laugh.
Flatulence.
Yeah,
maybe because I'm a dude.
These kids talk, an awful lot about all that stuff. Blows my mind. But
it's
they
so
did
different.
cut down on the food. Whenever they went to the store during the day, there wasn't as much food as they had gotten last week. So I'm curious to see that too. Andrew eats a lot and cooks a lot.
I wonder if there's maybe a luxury comp coming up. Maybe that's why.
Could be. I was wondering about that.
Mm-hmm.
And plus you got Paul on slop, so I guess that makes a pretty good difference too.
Burns.
I don't know.
High five.
I just can't. I know. I just
High
can't
five.
wait to see that.
Boom.
I just can't wait for him to. I just can't wait. Adele is going to rub that in so big time.
Oh, maybe the yellow shirt will fit then.
Hilarious.
After he's on slop. Maybe it'll.
Oh, he'll think he's lost 10 pounds by tomorrow. Don't you know? Yeah, he will.
He'll be strutting. Girl. Yeah, girl.
He'll be able to work out better by tomorrow, I'm sure. But, I thought that was so funny. But
that's great.
And then, and I don't know. I think
where's
Allison
Paul
will be
sleeping?
fine. And John in the have-not room.
Is he on the floor? He's not on one of those beds.
Allison's on the beds, and John is on one of those beds because of his shoulder. Where Paul's going to be, I don't know.
I think he'll have to be on the floor.
I don't know. I've got my feet in the other room. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. He's going to be cranky.
Oh, his back will be killing him. He'll be dying by morning. I think he will. He'll be so dramatic, that it'll be pretty funny. I was so hoping Sabrina would be on slop.
I know.
But no such luck.
Because, I've had strong feeling that she's going to go, and I was hoping it was going to be her on slop, because then she'd be even more terrible, and then Ike would hate her even more.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
she would have had a meltdown within a day on slop. Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Bad.
Not even a day. She'd eat it once, and she'd throw a temper tantrum like, this isn't fair. I don't want to eat this.
You know what Sarah said it tastes like, don't you?
Diarrhea?
And dirt.
Yeah. I just guessed. I was bang on with that.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember Allison tried it on After Dark, And she was like, and she kept eating her cookie. And then when you told me she's a have-not, I was like, oh, poor girl.
No such luck about Sabrina.
Huh?
No such luck about Sabrina. I just
No,
thought,
I know,
oh, yeah,
awesome.
she'll be on there. But nope.
That girl is a petulant child.
You know, I don't even know if she knows how much she's lying. I don't know. You know.
Usually, no. When people
I
are
see problems there.
compulsive liars, they typically the crazy thing about compulsive liars is they believe the lies that they're telling. That's the most interesting part about it.
And you know, she just spins everything right back at the person that that's confronting her. That's what. I mean, she's actually doing well. I'm thinking,
yeah, she's manipulative.
With this, yeah.
I love when people try that on me because it never works. I'm like, no. You're not spinning this around on me. This is your fault.
If she tries doing that with, like, just picture it with Allison or with Ika, they're gonna be like, I honestly, I think Allison would be like, shut up, man, you're dumb, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, not even gonna waste my time with that. She's getting away with it a lot, though. I think the only reason why hasn't really been looked at this point is because of her first 5 alliance. I think if she wasn't really aligned with anyone, I think she would be in a ton of trouble right now.
Mm-hmm,
right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have anybody with any backbone in there. I mean, Sarah's not going to say anything because she's on Sarah's side.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you've got Ika that, already has said something. But you've got Rochelle, Netta, and Heather, and none of those 3 are going to say anything.
No.
She keeps blaming them for things and saying things, that she's actually said and stuff.
That's what I mean. Like, of any of the people that could have won HOH, honestly, Ika is the only one that would get rid of Sarah. Right. That would stand up for it and be like, get out of here. All the other girls are pretty much pushovers. They're kind of just, going with the flow. And you can't blame them. It's the beginning of the game, but Ika is the only one that'll do something about it.
Yeah, I think she will.
Yeah.
If this blows up, we'll see. But I think Ika's short-lived. I think she's going next week.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, people either love her or they really hate her. There's no middle ground with her.
No.
If she can get in good with some of the guys, then she might have a chance. But it seems like she's kind of going along on things on her own.
She is.
And if she gets a really inflated ego during this HOH, then it's just gonna be big time trouble for her. But yeah, I feel like she's gonna go pretty quick too.
Yeah, they're already saying next week could be a double eviction, which I doubt it. But they want her to go. Yeah, they're already saying.
No, that's way too soon to have a double eviction.
Yeah, maybe the week after next. Week after next, I could be okay with, but not week 3.
No.
Because they're not going to do it.
This is week 3.
They're not going to do it when Allison just went into the house and she has a free pass for a week, because then she would go home in the second eviction of that night. That would be so stupid. No, it's too soon for Dee.
No, I don't see it happening.
Way too soon.
But they think that there's 2 more people coming in. See, they think every time somebody gets evicted, somebody's coming in because Allison came in. And that's when Allison said, well, maybe do you think Canada voted me in?
And I was wondering, have you seen Scott, Nate, or Kyle tweeting at all?
No.
Because if we haven't seen that many tweeting from them, they might be in sequester, so it could be a possibility. But if they are out and tweeting things, then it's not a possibility to be any of those 3. I guess I should check into that.
I don't think I actually have seen. I don't think I actually have. No, not yet.
Yeah,
Scott would probably be on Twitter. Are Nate and Kyle even on Twitter?
I don't know. I don't know if they're even on Nate and Kyle. I don't know. I know Scott. Yeah, he's on Twitter, but I don't know if he's on it right now. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, guys, I need to thank my husband for letting me.
Oh yes.
Participate in this. Thank you, Keith. If you're watching, thank you so much for being understanding and supportive. Keith is not a reality TV fan, guys, at all.
And Keith, we thank you.
I really appreciate him. Yeah, he really is good. He really has a lot of. He's really supportive.
And we thank you, Keith, from the bottom of our hearts, because we adore your lovely wife, and we're so happy that she's doing this with us. And you made a good choice marrying her, because she is epic.
And he probably can't understand why you'd want to sit and talk about TV shows with a couple of kids for 2 hours.
Yeah, probably.
Twice a week. Right?
Couple of kids, huh?
It's funny.
So anyway, we love you, Keith.
Absolutely.
And I have to thank RJ Squirrels at RJ Squirrels for helping me with my computer issues, guys. You know I'm not a computer tech.
Yes. We got to thank Rosie here, too.
Yes.
Been watching and retweeting our stuff, which we totally appreciate.
We love her.
Big time. Also, Stephen, he has been phenomenal. He was asking us earlier, what time is it going to be on tonight? Send us the link. That's awesome. And I really am glad that you are taking the time to watch. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
For sure.
And Witchy D, she did a retweet for us for the video also. So we'll just throw hey, you're awesome to Witchy D.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get this video to 1,200 views too. That'd be cool.
I know. Yeah, I was pretty shocked. It's pretty exciting.
Well, we found out before we came on, when you search Big Brother recaps, there's Rob, and then us. So
yeah, number 4, man. Whoop!
We'll take it, won't we?
Heck yes. We got to beat Rob. Just kidding. No, I'm not.
That's right.
Not kidding. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I've been watching that. That was the video from last Saturday, and I've been watching it every day, and it was like, I think it got up to 600, and I was like, yeah, right.
I thought you meant watching the video over again every day. I'm like,
oh,
really?
No. Just watching the views, but it was like 600, and I was like, yeah, right. And then it got to 9, and I was like, are you kidding me? And then it got to 1,000, I was like, come on. And then it got to 1,277, and I was like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Just keeps going up. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we totally appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch.
We do.
It's great.
We do.
And like I said, we want you guys to interact. We want you to be a part of the show. So if you guys have questions or anything, comment on the YouTube channel when it's live, or even after the fact, and we'll answer your questions. Or reach out to us on Twitter. You can talk to Dee. It's at give your Twitter handle there, Dee.
It's at DEE_DEA.
Underslash.
Right.
Yeah.
Underscore. Yeah, there's 2 underscores.
There's 2 underscores.
I'm at BBZelly, so ZELLY, or for the Americans, at BBZELLY.
No, they say Z.
Yeah, I know, that's for the Americans.
Oh, okay.
They might not understand.
And then me, obviously, at Kassie Check, or use the hashtag #RealityCheck, and we'll give you shout-outs or answer your questions or whatever. If you just have a general comment about someone in the show that's making you want to shoot them, then we'll talk about it. But we really appreciate it, and we'll be back again on... What day is it today?
It's Friday.
Oh, okay. So we're back on Monday then, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys want live feed updates, make sure you follow Dee, because she is phenomenal with tweeting out what's going on the feeds.
If I'm not tweeting, I'm watching. If you've got questions,
yeah, like
that question.
Dee and Brian, and you'll be covered. So
yeah,
you know, that's the only 2 you really need.
Yeah, Dee is amazing.
Witchy D, I'm telling you what.
Actually, yeah, she's been really good too.
Witchy D, she's not tweeting all the time, but when she
like me, she's watching a lot. We're trying to get, you know.
But when Witchy D chimes in, it is hilarious. Like she says the funniest things. So I was like watching her tweet.
We got to give lots of love to the people who are tweeting out the live feed stuff, because of the fact that there's no rewind. So you guys are putting in a lot of time, you know, staying up to date with what's going on. It's basically like a full-time job trying to stay on top of the Big Brother Canada live feed. So we really, really appreciate what you do, Dee, and the time that you take to do these videos with us. And I profusely thank your husband, Keith, because it's wonderful having you here. We'll be back on Monday. If there's anything you guys want us to cover next week, let us know. Fantasy draft, we will be posting this weekend where we're at. I think we'll talk about the fantasy draft actually on Monday after Sunday's episode, and then show everyone where we're at.
We can even post it on like before this podcast or something, because the way I score it is as soon as somebody walks out the door, it's the start of a new week. So
okay, so yeah, maybe we'll just throw it up tomorrow then.
Like the weeks in the draft pool, the week ends with the eviction. and then a new week starts. So,
Yeah.
I mean, whether Arissa asks questions or goodbye messages get played, that gets tacked on, but HOH is the start of the new week kind of thing.
Ooh,
right?
I just wanted to cover that real quick. I know this is going on so long. Goodbye messages will never play on the episode. They'll always be in the sideshow, which is unfortunate. But
I'm still keeping track.
so we're gonna count the video goodbye messages on the sideshow?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay.
so.
Okay, fair
Why
enough.
not? Because it's still aired, right? It's not like it's live
Right.
feed or anything, right?
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh crap, that's a lot of points that we're gonna be missing. But
Yeah,
I'm glad they're doing that because
it's
I
still
want to.
happening, so I'm still gonna score it. So.
I want to see those. So okay, that's cool. Yeah. You know what? We'll post it tomorrow then maybe.
Cool.
For everyone to see where they're at. And Dee's probably beating all of us again because she kicked our butts.
I doubt
I can
it.
tell
This year I
you.
kind of closed my eyes. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Well, Dee is she picked 8 people with you and me, so she's not really competing with the other people. But right now it's at TV Bachelor is in the lead with 325 points.
Awesome.
Yay.
Alicia Geese.
Yeah, that's my sister's friend.
And second with 305. And then it's a tie for third, I think, between New Jersey boys in third with 290.
Oh, that's awesome. That's Steven.
Yeah, that's Steven. Yeah. Is watching.
Wicked. That's awesome. I hope Brian has a little bit more luck on this draft.
Well,
he had terrible luck last time.
Brian and Witchy D are in a dead heat for 4th place with 240 points. So.
Oh, I bet they're happy with that so far. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, the people that picked Allison, they definitely cleaned up. I mean, it had taken a chance with that 15th person, but the people that picked 15th got Allison.
Didn't I pick 15th? I think I did.
You did it,
We're on a different deal. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
I thought Dee picked 4 people though too.
I don't know if she did.
Oh, well, we should let her because
we can just take her 4.
No, I did.
I have us on the sign, and we're not doing so super hot, but it's okay.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so we'll be back. We'll be back on Monday. I'll throw up that sheet tomorrow. I'm pretty sure Dee, you did pick 4 people. I'm gonna go back in my messages because I'm like 99% sure you did.
I think I did, but I have no idea who I picked because nobody grabbed me.
Yeah, no, it's been
a while.
The beginning videos that they did not do them justice for how they are in the house whatsoever. No.
I don't think so either.
No. But yeah, so yeah, we'll be back on Monday, and we hope you guys had a good night, and we super, super, super appreciate you guys watching and taking the time out of your day. Awesome.
Have a great weekend.